Let me tell you what premium gaming companies do not want you to know. There is a specific chipset that costs a fraction of the latest processors, but still has enough power to emulate modern consoles. And there is a specific screen size that hits the sweet spot between portability and immersion without breaking the bank. For years, big brands have avoided this combination because it would cannibalize their premium products. But a new company just said forget the rules, and they built exactly that device. 7 inches of OLED glory, real performance, and a price that should make the big brands nervous. I have been testing handhelds for years, and what I am about to show you might be the most disruptive product launch in this entire category. But first, smash that like button, share this with your gaming community, and subscribe because you are not going to want to miss what comes next. So let me ask you something. What if I told you that premium gaming companies are currently sitting in boardrooms sweating because a brand you have probably never heard of just changed the rules? And before you think this is vaporware or some crowdfunding scam, real benchmark scores have already leaked online. This thing is real. Here is what you need to understand. Right now, if you want a 7-inch OLED gaming handheld, you have exactly 3 options. The AYN Odin 2 portal, the AYANEO Pocket Evo, the Razer Edge, and every single one of them will cost you between $400 and $800. That is not a typo. $800. For some of you watching, that is rent money. That is a used car payment. But what if someone cracked the code? Enter MANGMI. Earlier this year, they dropped the AIRX, a handheld so cheap it broke the internet, under $100. People thought it was a mistake. It was not. Now they are back with something called the Pocket Max, and the specs are absolutely bonkers. 7-inch OLED panel, 144 hertz refresh rate. That is smoother than most gaming monitors. But here is where it gets wild, and this is what the big companies do not want you to know. Instead of using the latest, most expensive chipset that drives up costs, MANGMI went with the Snapdragon 865. Now, before you click away thinking that is old tech, let me blow your mind. This chip can emulate Nintendo Switch games. It can handle PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS, Dreamcast, GameCube, and basically everything retro you can throw at it. It is the same processor in the Retroid Pocket Flip 2, which is beloved by the community. And the best part? It is cheap to manufacture, which means those savings go directly to you. But wait, it gets better. You know those other large screen handhelds I mentioned? The Logitech G Cloud and the Absolute One Pro? They also have big screens, but here is the problem. They use LCD panels, not OLED, and they are built exclusively for cloud gaming, which means you need fast internet or a gaming PC to stream from. No internet, no gaming. The Pocket Max says no thanks to all that. You get the OLED, you get the power, you get everything all in one device. No subscriptions required, no internet dependency, just pure offline gaming freedom. Now let me tell you about the design, because this is where MANGMI really did their homework. Full-size analog sticks, not those tiny phone game controller sticks. Real full-size sticks in an asymmetrical layout, just like an Xbox controller. Front-facing speakers tucked perfectly into the design so the sound hits your ears, not your palms. Large triggers that actually feel good to press, back buttons for advanced controls, and ergonomic grips that curve into your hands. Someone on the design team actually plays games, and it shows. But here is the part that nobody is talking about, and this is critical if you are thinking about buying this. MANGMI is still a baby company. When they launched the AIRX, demand absolutely exploded. We are talking thousands and thousands of orders flooding in, and guess what happened? They could not keep up. Massive delays. People waiting weeks or even months. They admitted publicly that demand exceeded their expectations by a huge margin. So if this Pocket Max blows up the same way and all signs point to yes, you might be waiting a while. Now, before you think that is a deal breaker, let me give you some perspective. AYANEO, one of the biggest names in gaming handhelds, delays shipments all the time, months past the original dates. It is just the reality of this industry. Small production runs, high demand, complex manufacturing. It happens to everyone. The question is not if there will be delays. The question is whether the device is worth waiting for. And based on what we are seeing, the answer might be a resounding yes. Think about what this means for the industry. If MANGMI can deliver a 7-inch OLED handheld with solid performance for potentially half the price of the competition, what happens?